The following is a Spirit Street production.
All right, everybody, we're doing something a little bit new on Fridays right now. We are going to talk about myself, Big B, on some of the games that are going on, why I'm going to be watching them, where you can find them, and also some of the odds that I might like for each particular game. It's called Eyes and Odds. This is still the Big 12 Insiders.
Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show, presented by Synergy Financial Partners. Now let's go to booming North Texas, home of Studio 73. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, this is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley, and welcome to Eyes and Odds. Look, we just needed to change some things up. Didn't like how the Friday show was going. Thought it was a little boring, a little dull. And you guys actually let me know that. So we wanted to try to change some things up here. So what we're doing is I'm going to be talking about the games that are coming up this weekend, why I'm going to be watching them, why maybe you guys want to be watching them, and then talk about the odds and some of the odds that I like for each particular game. So it's Eyes and Odds. It's our weekly viewing and betting guide brought to you by FanDuel. So let's get into the show. First things first, there's 8 games this weekend. 6 of those are conference games. We're going to talk about 5 of those and which 5 that you should be watching that I'm going to be watching. So let's dig in a little bit here. First things first, remember to like, follow, subscribe, and leave those comments. We appreciate it. The channel is still growing, and it's all because of you guys, man. So I hope that you guys like what we're doing. You seem to, even if you disagree, that's okay. We love all the back and forth, all the commentary. So I appreciate all of that. Now let's get into this. The first game that I'm going to be watching, look, games start at 11 a.m. and Central Time, and they go all the way to 9:30 p.m. kickoff for the last game of the day. So I'll be up bright and early to talk to get in and watch these games. First one up that I'm going to be tuning into is Kansas at West Virginia. Look, the line is minus 2.5. West Virginia is favored at home. I always say that's tricky because, when a team doesn't get 3 points at home, it's like you always get 3, and they're not giving West Virginia 3, which leads me to believe that people like Kansas. But here's the reason I'm going to be watching. First off, the game, like I said, it's at 11 a.m. It's on ESPN2, in case anybody is wondering. Look, both of these teams got to bounce back. Kansas coming off a loss against UNLV. I'm not going to necessarily – it's embarrassing because I think UNLV is a pretty good football team. So I'm not going to call it an embarrassing loss, but it's a game they should have won. And I blame, yes, you can blame everything on Jalen Daniels if you want to, but I blame the coaching staff. Give Devin Neal the football. Let him touch the ball. Let him run it 35 times, which is what should have happened when your quarterback is struggling and you're running the football very successfully. Just continue to do it. You didn't do that, and it ended up costing you. Don't understand why. West Virginia, on the other hand, I am going to say that was an embarrassing loss to Pitt. There's no way you should have lost that game, up 10 with 4 minutes to go, and you let them drive almost the length of the field, not once, but twice to beat you. That's inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. I don't care what anybody says. That's a game that you should have won. You didn't. And here you both are sitting at 1-2. I think this game's going to be a dogfight, people. I really do. I think these – and here's the thing. You go 1-3, look, yeah, you could potentially still win the conference if everything falls your way, but you're 1-3. What's the locker room going to look like? These are two teams that didn't think they were going to be 1-3 at this point in the season. What does a locker room look like at that point? I mean, do people bail? Do you have a strong enough locker room to keep it together? I don't know. One thing I know, it'll be a lot of disappointment for a team going 1-3, and I don't think either one of these teams want to end up there. This is why I think it's going to be such a good game. I still like Kansas. I think Kansas is more talented. I give me Kansas plus 2.5 on the road. I like that. I think Kansas is more talented. I think they eventually, like I said, that offense is going to get going if they do nothing else but run the football. Now, West Virginia's pass defense, not very good. So maybe Jalen Daniels can get it going. We will see, but I like Kansas in that game. Next game that Big B is going to be watching. Now, it starts to get tricky here, though. It's at 2:30, Arizona State at Texas Tech. The game is on FS1. Look, is Arizona State for real? You know, the Arizona State fans are going to tell you, yes, they are. A lot of fans in general, if you just watch them play, you're going to say, yes, they are. That was an impressive win last week on the road on a short week at Texas State. Maybe a lot of people don't understand that, but they should. Texas State's a good football team, and that's a good road win. Arizona State, I don't think anybody, like I said, I've said this several times over the course of the week, that anybody thought that they were going to be 3-0 outside of Arizona State fans or players or coaches. I don't think there's many people around the country that believe that, but here they are. Texas Tech, on the other hand, looked like they started playing football this week. They finally got into the season. First week against Abilene Christian, Tech fans were just disgusted. The next week against Washington State, I get Taj Brooks didn't play, but you didn't even go up there and compete, which was very disappointing. Very disappointing. Last week, you smoke North Texas, which you're supposed to do. So maybe you have woken up and said, okay, the season has officially started. It's time to play some football here. Look, the spread is Tech is favored -3.5. I would stay away from that because I'm not sure who's going to win because, again, I think both teams are pretty good. What I like here is the over. It's 59.5. They might have that at halftime. You know, Tech hadn't played defense all year. That's the first thing to keep in mind. Now, against North Texas, okay, but the first two games, it was a bloodbath for them defensively. Arizona State has played some defense, but they haven't played an offense the caliber of Texas Tech. Just hasn't happened. You can talk about Texas State, and they are a good football team, but they're not the same caliber as Texas Tech. I like the over all day on this one. Like I said, 59.5. Moving on. Now, here's where it gets tricky. The next game is obviously it's Utah at Oklahoma State. The game starts at 3. You got to have your YouTube TV, people. You got to be able to get the double view so you can watch both games at the same time. That's all I'm saying, because that's what I'm going to be doing for sure. You know, I'm not going to, I'm watching this one, and then I'm going to flip back. You miss too much action that way. And, I don't want to miss any action. I want to be able to see both games while they're going on. And YouTube TV, they provide that avenue for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Again, I'm not an advocate for YouTube TV or anything. I just think it's great. Not only can you get the dual games, you can get the quad view where you can watch 4 games at once. It changed my life. It's absolutely incredible. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 games, or for these 2 games. Arizona State, Texas Tech, and Utah, Oklahoma State. I'm going to be watching both. Having said that, Utah going to Oklahoma State. Look, the line changed. You know, Oklahoma State started out as a home underdog. Now they're a home favorite. Maybe Vegas, maybe the betting line and the money coming in. Not sure about Cam Rising. I don't know. But now it's Oklahoma State -2.5. The game's at 3 p.m. It's on Fox, the national game. Look, I said this earlier. I'm not sure the last time a game like this was this early in the season within a conference. This could potentially decide who goes to Arlington and who doesn't. It could potentially be the best game of the Big 12, and here we are in September. So who knows? I like both teams. I like both coaches. They are evenly matched, in my opinion. Now, the game might not end up being that way, but they kind of play the same. Everything about these 2 programs kind of match up with each other, which is why I love this matchup. And I especially like it early in the season. I know some people may want to see it late. I don't. I'm okay with it being early. Let's get it out there and open. Let's see these 2 good teams battle it out and see where they're at early on in the season. I don't like the line. Like I said, in line moves like that, I don't trust it. But you know what I do like? The over. Give me the over again. 52.5. Give me the over. Again, all these lines are being provided by FanDuel. So go sign up if you choose. Having said all of that good stuff, yeah, I like the over on this. I just think, look, Oklahoma State is going to score. Their defense is not very good. Utah's defense have not seen an offense like they're going to see this week. They're going to give up some points. That's going to happen. Playing Oklahoma State at home, you're going to give up some points. But yeah, give me the over. I just can't wait for this football game, though, people. I really can't wait. I think it's going to be great. But again, you got to get the dual view. You got to get the dual view. You can't be flipping back and forth, people. That's not going to do you justice. I understand some people, you have to do that. I'm just telling you, not going to do you justice. Missing out on these two good games because I believe both of them are going to be very, very good. Moving on. Now, I thought usually about this time is somewhere in here I can get a nap in. Look, I'm an old man. I need to be able to get a nap in to watch all this college football. Not this Saturday, man. Not going to be able to get that nap in. I don't know what I'm going to do. I had to figure something out, but not going to be able to get it because following Oklahoma State and Utah, Baylor at Colorado, still on Fox, comes on right after that game. Here's the thing with this game. It's -1.5, by the way. Colorado is favored at home. Again, I think it's a measuring stick for both teams. Colorado got a big win over Colorado State. I say a big win, but was it really? I mean, we watched the game. Colorado State's not any good. I thought Colorado did some good things, some better things that we had been begging for them to do. Run the football or attempt to run the football and try to stop the run. They did that somewhat and get after the quarterback. They did that. Not a ton of sacks, but they were chasing Colorado State's quarterback all over the yard. So, yeah, they did a better job of that. Baylor, I just don't know what to think about Baylor. And that's why I think this game is such a big one for them because I don't think anybody knows. I mean, they went to Utah and they didn't look good, at least in the first half while Cam Rising was playing. They didn't look good. They battled back in the second half. You got to give them credit for that. But then other than that, they haven't played anybody. So this will be a big matchup. It's on the road. This is another one. That 1.5, I'm not comfortable with it. Just not comfortable with it. I think it's going to be a really good football game, a litmus test for both of them. But I'm looking at this. 51.5 is the over. Give me the over. Give me the over. I'm still not sold on Colorado's defense. That's number one. And two, I'm not sold on Baylor's either. So you get 28-24, you're there. And that's not, this scoring bonanza or anything like that where it's 58-56 or something crazy like that to get to 52.5. No, it's not. Or 51.5, excuse me. Yeah, it's not crazy. Not crazy there. I like that. That's what I'm taking. But again, another good football game will kind of let us know a little bit about what's going on within middle tier to lower tier teams in the Big 12. And can they rise up? Will they be able to be better? I'm interested in this football game. Lastly, look, last game of the night on ESPN, K-State going to BYU. I don't know how I'm going to make it. The kickoff is at 9:30, people. I just don't know. Like I said, I thought maybe I could get a nap in there somewhere. I can't even sleep in late and make up the difference because we got good games at 11. It is what it is. It's college football. You know what? And just got to suck it up, Big B. It's college football. This doesn't happen year round. So while it's on, we got to like it while it's on. I'm just going to have to deal with it. I can sleep in February. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'll sleep in February and figure it out. Either way, it's K-State right now is favored by 6.5. So it's K-State -6.5 on the road. A lot of people are picking BYU in this game. Now, I haven't seen a lot of people picking BYU to outright win. I'm seeing a ton of people pick BYU to cover. I'm going the other way. I've seen this before from a K-State team. I'm saying K-State covers the 6.5. And this is how it will go. Don't be surprised if BYU is not leading at halftime. Just don't be surprised because I'm not going to be. I've seen this tune before from both teams. Halftime adjustments will happen. And then K-State is the more physical team or at this point in the season, they appear to be the more physical team. They definitely have more weapons offensively. That will start to take over the football game. That will start to rule the day. At the end of the day, I know people, well, it's at altitude. They might get worn down. Guys are in shape, man. And if they're not, it is what it is. I get it. I don't think that's going to be that big of a factor in this football game. I think K-State just physically starts to wear down BYU because they're the more physical football team. And I don't be surprised if this is a 2-touchdown game, but I think K-State wins by at least 10 points in this one. I think they absolutely cover the -6.5. But I'm really interested in this BYU because a lot of people, they like BYU this year. The one thing that I'll say, I've seen them in person, but they were a bigger football team than SMU, way more physical. And that was what they were trying to get into, that they didn't really understand what the Big 12 was like when they came into the league last year, was the physicality. I think they figured some of that out. Now, you're going against one of the more physical teams, not just in the Big 12, but in the country, in Kansas State, on how they want to play football. So that's a different animal altogether. But the game's at home. The game's at night. BYU is really good at home. They're really good at night against ranked opponents, which is why I won't be surprised if BYU doesn't have the lead at halftime. I'm not going to be surprised at all if that happens. I just think as the game goes on, K-State makes some more adjustments. They get this thing figured out. They get the ball rolling, and Katie barred the door, and here we go. So, but that's what we're going to be doing. That's what Big B is going to be doing on Saturday, people. Let me know what you guys think, where you guys are going to be watching the game, what you're going to be watching the game. I can tell you right now, man, I'm going to be watching it in my room. I got me a football room. Wings or pizza? What do you think? Now, look, we got to last this thing all day. You know, you can't have wings at 8 or 11 o'clock in the morning and be expected to eat the same wings at 9:30 at night. So we got to have some things going on. I'm thinking pizza in the morning, wings later on. Look, I can't eat that much. I'm trying to keep my figure, or at least lose a little pounds. But I'm thinking maybe get some pizza in the morning, wings maybe midday, and then have the wife cook up some pizza rolls for the late night game. That's what I'm guessing. I'm not a huge drinker, so I'm not going to go into drinking and all that kind of stuff. But that's what I'm thinking for food. Y'all leave in the comments what you think that you're, number one, what you're going to have all day, what I should have, and then next week we'll reconvene on what was best. So I appreciate everybody. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, man, and continue to leave those comments. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Let's have a good weekend.
This has been a GoPowerCat.com and Spirit Street production. Please support this show by subscribing to this YouTube channel or follow us on your favorite podcast platform.